talk.
How do you proceed without knowing when or if Olivia will come back? Will you just start the season like, okay, if she comes back, great, but we have to move forward with the group that we have?
Yeah, I'm in constant communication with Liv and our performance team, so I kind of have a general idea, but going with the season, like wherever she is at this point, she's about 6 months, doing great, and I understand it's more of kind of an individual healing process. Everybody comes back differently at different times, but she's doing really, really well. So I'm just prepared either way. So if she's back, whatever time frame that is, I'm prepared for that, and if she's not, then I'll prepare for that as well.
I know there's so many variables as you move forward, but maybe as you get to like January, February, can you see a case where you look, maybe it's not where she wants to be, where you want her to be, and just say, look, we're just going to shut this down for the season, and we'll worry about next year?
Yeah, I think I think that's obviously the option is redshirting, depending on when that decision is made. And I'm just, like I said, I'm putting that in Liv's hands. I trust my performance team, and like I said, she's done a really, really great job, and she's right on track. So I'm kind of just playing it by ear to seeing like each month you make a lot of gains at this point of her rehab, because right now it's more strengthening, and she's starting to run now, so that could speed the process up. And so I'm kind of just being there for her and just us having just great communication of how she feels. Because my biggest thing, I've gone through this twice. It's an individual decision of her comfort level of being back on the floor, and I just want to make sure that she's comfortable, confident, and ready.
Thanks.
Tyler.
What have you learned about your team without Olivia? For 2 years, she's been heart and soul point guard, minus what she missed last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you might have to go into a season without her. What have you learned about who you are?
Right. I've learned our resilience. Last year with Dara and Liv going out, everyone stepped up, so everyone knew that they had to do a little bit more. It was point guard by committee. Fortunately, this year I have a true point guard in Hannah Hidalgo, who's done a tremendous job of being in the fire as a freshman, having a foreign tour. Thought she did a really good job of running the team, and she's picked up the offense really, really well. And so what I've learned about this team is, they want to win, and whatever that takes, if that means, different people playing in different positions, that's what we're doing. Everyone's kind of helping Hannah, and Liv is really leading really well on the side. So I would say just the fortitude and resilience of the team is what I've learned since last year.
And then how much, you mentioned the foreign tour.
Yes.
She's not the only one that's been out there and done that kind of thing. How big is that, knowing that your first game of the season is against South Carolina in Paris? It's kind of got that big foreign game atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very fortunate, timing-wise, it was perfect to go on a foreign tour. We had a lot of practice this summer. I got a chance to put a lot of offense in, a lot of defense, and again, just playing 2 games gave us a lot of chemistry. And the team is really close, and I know that that's going to help us even just understanding how to prepare overseas, what that looked like, preparing for 2 games overseas. So that was great. And again, like you mentioned, coming out basically swinging with a schedule and a matchup like South Carolina just basically is going to show us where we're at that point in November 6th.
Coach, I was going to ask about that, the fact that you've gone through this. How much of this is to, how difficult, I guess, is it to have Liv to trust her instincts throughout this process?
Yeah, difficult with her coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's challenging for her. It's really hard watching, and she's so close. So it's still kind of like, I think last year at the end of the season, she wanted to be out there and help our team so much, and now she's in a position where she's really, really close of getting back on the court. And so I know how challenging that is, and I think a lot of it for me is just for her to understand that she has so much support, and I try to give her a ton of experiences, the experiences that I went through. There's a lot of former players that have reached out to her to support her. We follow a lot of people, like even in the NBA, WNBA, that have come back from an ACL injury, like I think Jamal Murray from Denver Nuggets. So I try to give her examples, and she follows a lot of people, and a lot of people have helped and support her. So when you're in that position, I think the biggest thing outside of you, like individually trying to figure it out, like you have to rely on your support system that helps you get through like the mental part of it.
And kind of a 2-part question. You don't have to rush it back because you do have the depth, and when you look at that, how difficult is it to say, to split up minutes between these players because you do have the talent and the depth of the young ladies, even like the freshmen. Right.
I think it's exciting. It's it's definitely going to be a really competitive. It's been super competitive, and it's going to be competitive even when Liv comes back. But I'm excited for the lineups. I'm excited for Liv to be able to play with Hannah. I'm excited for seeing different rotation rotations within our offense. Cass, she brings a different layer. KK brings a different layer. Kylie looks amazing having the experience with Maddie and Sony. Like, I'm excited for that because it shows, like you said, the depth, but also how far along we are as a program. We have so much talent on this team, and I'm looking forward to seeing those lineups and rotations and finding the best group that works together. But I'm looking forward to having that depth.
Eric.
Coach, how did you know when the right time was for you to come back from the ACL? What told you?
Yes, after kind of going through the Biodex test, there's like tests you have to go through and, running and getting back on the court. I had a knee brace and it was kind of a mental thing for me, but luckily with timing-wise, it was more before the season when and I had two of them. So one of them was before the season, so I knew in the summer that I was playing a little bit more. So the timing for her is a little bit different. It definitely is an individual feel, the comfort level of knowing that I have the confidence to come out and play and not make it a mental barrier. So it was an individual kind of like mental confidence thing where I felt like, okay, I'm ready. And I felt like my performance team, when I played, like they did a really good job of preparing me, but also preparing me for the mental aspect of it. And I feel like that's what we're doing for Liv right now.
You have so many guards, and it's fun to kind of think about the offensive combinations, but what about defense? Can you kind of go at people in waves and bring more pressure and extend your pressure with this group?
You've been watching practice?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense is something that I think that we're going to be better at this year. The two areas, identity-wise, that I want for our team is pushing pace. I talk about that every year. I think we're going to be fast and even faster when Liv comes back. And defensively, I feel like I have the bodies that can do that. We're going to impact the ball more aggressively this year. I would like to extend our defense. That's something we've been working on this summer and the last couple weeks. And having players like Hannah coming in, the way that she changes the game with her defense, and also Cass, and everyone being in great shape, it's going to allow us to be able to play faster defensively and do more things defensively to try to disrupt offenses.
Kylie mentioned that there was a point last year where she was thinking about her free throws too much, and then she just said, you know what, I'm going to get contact, I'm going to go to the line. What do you think got her over that hump, and then where do you see her role maybe being a little bit different this year with no Lauren Ebo here?
Yeah, I think just individual effort that she put into her mental part of her game, because a lot of that's kind of sports performance, confidence, because, free throws is not super technical. It's definitely a mental. It's almost 80% mental. So that's something that she had to get over individually. I did bring a sports performance, like a mental sports performance coach in this summer, and I know that was somebody that our team really utilized and found a lot of value in just kind of seeing the game from a different perspective from a mental aspect. So I'm hoping that that's part of the reason why she kind of got over that hump. But I think it's kind of an individual confidence thing. And if you guys see Kylie, she's a completely different player. Being in my system for a year, the way that she's attacked the offseason and this summer has been honestly so impressive to me. She's definitely somebody you guys are going to look and be like, wow, Kylie looks confident. She's in amazing shape, and she's just playing the game. The game is coming easy to her. And I think just for her comfort level being here and her confidence level is at a high all-time high right now.
Coach, you obviously have your background in the NBA, and then you all had the European tour in August, your opening in Paris. What does that maybe say about the profile of the Notre Dame program, and how much do you all embrace, I guess, maybe the swagger that comes with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate to be behind a brand that's national, international like Notre Dame. We're afforded many incredible opportunities to play it and to be a part of a lot of historical matchups and moments. I was fortunate to have that as an assistant coach, and as head coach, I always want to give my players that experience and understand that it's bigger than basketball. We get a chance to go across the pond. We get a chance to play in a historical first NCAA women's basketball matchup. My son just played last year in Paris. We get a chance to play this year, playing Dawn Staley, but we also get a chance to impact the community there. The Citibank game being the first in the NBC, and having another matchup this year in DC. I think those are just such incredible experiences for the players, and that's what kind of thing I recruit, and I say that you're not just part of just a basketball piece. You're going to learn a lot about life and culture, different cultures, and I think that's what makes Notre Dame so unique and special. So I'm fortunate that we have the resources that can allow us to do those type of things, and I'm really grateful that we got a chance to be a part of those historical events.
And then you
referenced just a moment ago the closeness of this team. What makes a close team? What have you seen in that regard, and what are the benefits as you go through a long, grueling season?
Yeah, I think I'm lucky that I've recruited incredible young women. They're not just great basketball players and academic students. They're great people. They come from great backgrounds. Families are incredible. And luckily, just, you know, when you have the right fit, when you figured out like the right Notre Dame fit, it just works. And then we've had a lot of moments where we've got a chance to bond, like we mentioned the foreign tour, having that chance to go 2 weeks overseas, and you're just with each other for that long a period of time. Like it was just one of those life-changing experiences that they'll always remember. They didn't want to leave when it was time to leave, and just having those moments, and then it just it carries over to the court when you're close, and it's more, they're like a sisterhood. I know we always talk about family, that they truly are sisters, they truly are family, and having that foreign tour really helped them even get closer. And in the season, we try to find ways to do special things to help them bond, but I think I'm recruiting the right people.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then we got to get her out to practice, Mark, last one.
Yeah, Maddie is coming up on her senior year now, which is kind of wild to think about. How much do you think you've seen her grow, and what specifically do you think you've seen her grow most in since she was a freshman and now?
Yeah, as a freshman, she carried a lot of weight with that team. I went to her a lot her freshman and sophomore year, and I feel like now that she's a senior, like she has that experience and the confidence to be able to perform at a high level. And so I would say like the biggest thing I've seen improvement from Maddie, she's always had a great size, great body, is her confidence, her mental capacity, her assertiveness right now is really awesome. And that's the one thing for me, is just I'm really proud of the growth of her, kind of knowing who she is, knowing her worth, and she plays with a level of confidence that's completely consistent. I think you saw that a little bit, like her sophomore year. Freshman year, I think we were all learning. In my first year, sophomore year, she had, you know, ups and downs that sophomores have. I thought she had a really good junior year, and I think you'll see this year she's confident and she's going to be really consistent at a high level for us. And I'm so proud of her for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.